Torah Life Ministries, come out of the world.
Hello, everybody. Praise Yah. Shabbat Shalom. We are reading another Torah reading. We are up to this Torah reading here, and it's Genesis 23:1 to 25:18. 23:1 to 25:18. And we're just going to read through this together and highlight or look at what sounds good to us. And hopefully you've read this already. And if you have any comments, post them below. And make it a practice of reading the Torah reading on a regular weekly basis. So this Torah reading is named after Sarah, and it focuses mostly on Sarah, and we're gonna see why here. So chapter 23 verse 1. And the life of Sarah was 127 years, the years of the life of Sarah. And Sarah died in Kojeth Abba. It is Hebron, in the land of Canaan, and Abraham went in to mourn for Sarah and weep for her. So obviously this is a very sad time here. Now, if she died at 127 and Isaac was born at 90, so that would have made him 37 when she died. So let's keep that in mind here. So, and Abram rose up from before his dead and spoke to the sons of Heth, saying, I am an alien and a visitor with you. Give me the possession among you, so that I may bury my dead from before the eyes. And the sons of Heth answered Abram, saying to him, Hear us, my master. You are a prince of Elohim among us. Bury your dead in the best of our buried places. Not a man of us will withhold his buried places from you, from burying your dead. So Abram was already high esteemedly exalted here in this land amongst the people, which he was a foreigner, but they all knew who he was and about his history. But Abram rose up and bowed himself to the people of the land, to the sons of Heth. And he spoke with them, saying, If it is your desire to bury my dead out of my sight, hear me. Ask for me of Ephron the son of Zabor, that he may give to me the cave of Mizpah, which he has, which is in the edge of the field, in full silver. Let him give it to me among you for a possession of a burying place. Now, this actual place that he ends up getting was not just for Sarah. Many of the forefathers of Israel, or the important ones, were buried at this place. But that's getting a little forward from us here. So it says in verse 10 of chapter 23, And Ephron was sitting among the sons of Heth, and Ephron the Hittite replied to Abraham in the ears of the sons of Heth, to all those entering the gate of the city, saying, No, my master, hear me. I have given the field to you, also the cave that is in it. I have given it to you before the eyes of the sons of my people. I have given it to you. Bury your dead. Now that could have been the end. Abraham could have said, Thank you very much. That's a nice gesture, and I'm going to bury my dead there, and thank you. But Abraham says in verse 12, Abraham says, And Abraham bowed before the people of the land, and spoke to Ephron in the ears of the people of the land, saying, Only if you would hear me. I have given the silver for the field, take it from me, that I may bury my dead there. And Ephron answered Abraham, saying to him, My master, hear me. The land is worth 400 shekels of silver. What is it between me and you? And bury your dead. And Abram listened to Ephron, and Abraham weighed to Ephron the silver of which he had spoken in the ears of the sons of Heth, 400 silver shekels, which passes with the merchant. And was certified the field of Ephron in Machpelah, which was before Menor, the cave and the field in it, and all the trees in the field which were in its boundaries around it. And Abram for a purchased before the sons of Heth, with all entering the gate of the city. And after this, Abram buried his wife Sarah at the cave of the field of Machpelah before Merim. It is Hebron, in the land of Canaan. And the field was certified, and the cave in it, to Abraham for a burial possession for the sons of Heth. And the note here says, the cave located in Hebron is still there today, with the bones of Abraham, Sarah, Rebekah, and Isaac, and also Leah and Jacob. So all of them were buried eventually in this cave, in this cave, and it's still there today. So that was verse 23. Now we go to verse 24. And Abraham was old, going on in days, and Yah had blessed Abram in all things. I keep saying Abram. And Yah had blessed Abraham in all things. And Abraham said to his slave, the oldest of his house, the one who ruled in all that was to him, please put your hand under my thigh. And this at the time was a way of making a vow. And he did that. And it says here in the note, in ancient times, this represented the reproductive organ, and the symbolism was that any unborn children would avenge the oath it violated. So basically, this was the oath that was made. And verse 3 says, and I will cause you to swear by Yahweh, Elohim of the heavens and Elohim of the earth, that you will not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanite, among whom I dwell. But you shall go to my country and to my kindred, and take a wife for my son there, for Isaac. And the slave said to him, perhaps the woman will not be willing to go after me to this land. Shall I indeed bring back your son into the land from which you came? And Abraham said to him, take heed for yourself that you not take my son back there. So not only did he want him not to get a wife from there, but he didn't want him to go back there. So remember that. Abraham didn't want Isaac to go back there. Later on, we're going to see Jacob go back there. Verse 7. Yahweh, Elohim of heavens, who took me from the house of my father and from the land of my birth, and who spoke to me and who swore to me, saying, I will give this land to your seed. He shall send his messenger before you, and you shall take a wife from there for my son. And if the woman will not be willing to go after you, then you shall be clear from this oath of mine. Only do not take my son back there. So he made it clear, I do not want my son to go back there. And the slave put his hand under the thigh of his master Abraham, and swore to him concerning this thing. And the slave took 10 camels from his master's camels and left. And all his master's goods were in his hand. And he rose up and went to Mesopotamia, to the city of Nabor. And he made the camels kneel outside the city by a well of water at the time of the evening, the time that women go out to draw. And now we're up to verse 12. And he said, Yahweh Elohim of my master Abraham, I pray, cause her to meet before me this day, and show kindness to my master Abraham. Behold, I am standing by the well of water, and the daughters of the men of the old city, are coming out to draw water. And let the girl to whom I shall speak this, please let drawn your pitcher, that I may drink. And she will say, drink, and also I will water your camels. Let it be her you have approved for your servant for Isaac. And by this I shall know that you have shown kindness to my master. And it happened before he had finished speaking, behold, Rebekah came out, she who was born to Bethuel, the son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor, the brother of Abraham, with her pitcher on her shoulder. And the girl was very good of form, a virgin, a man not having known her. And she went down to the well and filled her pitcher and came up. Now, there's some question of what her age might have been at this point. The ancient rabbi sages might say it was a very, very young girl. The physical aspects of what happened with her drawing the water would make it seem like she wasn't that young, maybe more of a teenager. Regardless, we look at the different ages and everything else, and Isaac here at this point was 37. So we know she was much younger, maybe teenager at least. And this was common at the time back then. Verse 17. And the slave ran to meet her and said, please, let me sip a little water from your pitcher. And she said, drink, my master. And she hurried and let down her pitcher on her hand and gave him a drink. And she finished giving him a drink to him. And she said also, I will draw for your camels until they have finished drinking. And she hurried and emptied the pitcher into the thurrow, and she again ran to the well to draw and drew for all his camels. And watching her, the man kept silent in order to know if Yah had prospered his way or not. And it happened, when the camels had finished drinking, the man took a golden ring, its weighing a half a shekel, and 2 bracelets for her hands, 10 of gold their weighing. And he said, whose daughter are you? Please tell me, is there room for us to stay in your father's house? And she said to him, I am the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, whom she bore to Nohar. And she said to him, both straw and fodder are plentiful with us, also a room to pass the night. And the man bowed and worshipped Yah. And he said, blessed be Yah, Elohim of my master Abraham, who has not left off his kindness and his truth with my master. I being the way, Yah guided me to the house of the brother of my master. And the girl ran and told these things to the house of her mother. And Rebekah had a brother. His name was Laban. And Laban ran to the man to the fountain. And we're up to verse 30. And it happened, when he saw the ring and the bracelets and his sister's hands, and when he heard his sister's words, Rebekah saying, so the man spoke to me, then he came to the man and saw him standing in the camels at the fountain. And he said, come in, blessed of Yah. Why are you standing outside? I have prepared the house and a place for the camels. And the man came into the house and unloaded the camels and gave straw and fodder to the camels and water and washed his feet and the feet of the men who were with him. The food was set before him to eat, but he said, I will not eat until I have spoken my message. And he said, speak. And he said, I am the slave of Abraham, and Yah has blessed my master much, and he is great. And he has given to him flocks and herds and silver and gold, and male slaves and slave girls and camels and donkeys. And my master's wife bore a son to my master, whom she was when she was old, and he has given to him all that is his. And my master caused me to swear, saying, you shall not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanite in which land I live. But you shall go to the house of my father and my family, and you shall take a wife for my son. And I said to my master, perhaps the woman will not go after me. And he said to me, Yah, before whom I walk, will send his messenger with you and prosper your way, and you shall take a wife for my son from the family from my father's house. So that's verse 40. And we see here everything being fulfilled. In verse 41, it says, Then you shall be released from my oath when you have come to my family. And if they do not give one to you, then you shall be released from my oath. And today I came to the well, and I said, Yah Elohim of my master Abraham, I pray if you will prosper the way in which I am about to go. Behold, I stand at the well of water, and when the virgin comes out to draw water, and I say to her, Please let me drink a little water from your pitcher. And she says to me, Both you drink, and also I will draw for your camels. May she be the woman whom Yah has approved for my master's son. Before I had finished speaking, within my heart, even behold, Rebekah was coming out, her pitcher on her shoulder. And she went down to the well and drew, and I said to her, Please let me drink. And she hurried and let down her pitcher from her and said, Drink, and I also will water your camels. And I drank, and she also watered the camels. And I asked her, and I said, Whose daughter are you? And she said, The daughter of Bethuel, the son of Nahor, whom Milcah bore to him. And I put the ring on her nose, and her bracelets on her hands. And I bowed and worshipped Yah. And I blessed Yah Elohim of my master Abraham, who had guided me in the true way to take for his son the daughter of the brother of my master. And now, if you are going to do kindness and truth with my master, tell me, and if not, tell me so that I may turn to the right or to the left. Verse 50. And Laban and Bethuel answered and said, The thing has come from Yah. We are not able to speak to you good or evil. Behold, Rebekah is before you. Take her and go, and let her become the wife of the son of your master, as Yah had spoken. And it happened when the slave of Abraham heard their words, he bowed himself to the earth, to Yah. And the slave brought out vessels of silver and vessels of gold, and garments, and he gave to Rebekah, and he gave precious things to her brother and to her mother. And they ate and drank, and the men who were with him, and they stayed the night, and they rose up in the morning. And he said, Send me away to my master. And her brother and her mother said, Let the girl stay with us perhaps 10 days, afterward she may go. And he said to them, Do not delay me, for Yah has prepared my way. Send me away that I may go to my master. And they said, We will call the girl and inquire of her mouth. And they called Rebekah and said to her, Will you go with this man? And she said, I will go. And they sent away their sister Rebekah, and her nurse, and Abraham's slave, and his men. Verse 60. And they blessed Rebekah and said to her, Our sister, may you become myriads of thousands, and may your seed possess the gate of the ones hating them. And Rebekah and her maidens rose up, and they rode on the camels and went after the men. And the slave took Rebekah and went. And Isaac, so now we're up to 62. And Isaac had come down from the gate, Ladi Ray, and he was dwelling in the land of the Negev. And Isaac had gone out to meditate in the field as it turned evening. And he raised his eyes and looked, and behold, camels were coming. And Rebekah lifted her eyes, and she saw Isaac, and she dismounted from the camel. And she said to the slave, Who is this man walking in the field to meet us? And the slave said, It is my master. And she took the veil and covered herself. And the slave told Isaac all that things that he had done. And Isaac brought her into the tent of his mother Sarah. And he took Rebekah, and she became his wife. And he loved her, and Isaac was comforted after his mother. That was chapter 24. And even though it wasn't much about Sarah as much as it was about Rebekah and the meeting with Isaac, but that's what it covered there. And now for 25, it reads the first 18 verses. And I'm hoping you already read this, but we're going to read it. And you should be reading all the time and the prior week, throughout the week, to read the Torah and think about it. So chapter 25 of Genesis, verse 1. And Abraham added and took a wife, and his name was Keturah. Now it's very interesting where Keturah was from. He didn't want his son to get a local wife, but it didn't say where she was from here. It just says, and he took another wife named Keturah. Now he was old. It would seem like a miracle that he had even a child back then. This I find astonishing, that Isaac was his miracle child. But then it says here now, after Sarah, he took another wife, and her name was Keturah. And as an old man, he took a new wife. And she bore him Zamran and Jochim and Medan and Midian and Isbak and Shaul. So he had 6 more children with Keturah after the death of Sarah. Amazing that he would say, Am I, an old man of 100 years old, able to have a son? And here he is, even older than that now, when he had 6 sons. And Jochim fathered Sheba and Dedan, and the sons of Dedan were Ashram and Lithium and Lenamian. And the sons of Midian, Ephah and Epar and Hadach and Abdiah and Itah. All these were the sons of Keturah. And Abraham gave all that was his to Isaac. And to the sons of the concubines who were to Abraham, Abraham gave gifts and sent them away eastward from his son Isaac, while he was still alive, to an eastern land. Verse 7. And these are the days of the years of the life of Abraham which he lived, 175 years. And Abraham breathed out and died in a good old age, and satisfied, and was gathered to his people. And his sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Mizpah. So Isaac and Ishmael had a reunion here to bury their father at that field in Ephron, the son of Zahor, the Hittite, which was before Merom. The field which Abram bought from the sons of Heth, Abraham and his wife Sarah were buried there. And it happened after the death of Abraham, Elohim blessed his son Isaac, and Isaac lived by the well of the living one, my seer. And these are the generations of Ishmael, the son of Abraham, who Hagar, the Egyptian, the slave girl of Sarah, bore to Abraham. Verse 13. And these are the names of the sons of Ishmael by their names, according to their generations. The firstborn of Ishmael was Nebajoth, then Kedor, and Abiel, and Mishim, and Misma, and Duma, and Massa, Hebedad, and Tema, and Jutra, Nethmash, and Kedema. These were the sons of Ishmael, and their names in their settlements, in their camps. 12 chiefs according to their nations. And these were the years of the life of Ishmael, 137 years. And he breathed out and died, and was gathered to his people. And they lived from Halah to Shur, which is facing Egypt, as you come towards Assyria. He settled facing all his brothers. So this was the end of the Torah reading for this week. Praise Yah. And we're going to continue to read the Torah readings together each week. Next week it's 25:19 to 28:9. And thank you for reading along with me this week. Yah bless you this Sabbath and be with you. Have a blessed day, everybody. A blessed Sabbath rest. And shalom, shalom.
Torah Life Ministries come out of the world. Messiah people seek the truth.